people, one of the things that people don't realize is that just because you guys are together doesn't mean you're making decisions. So, I mean, if you got together as a party, for example, it's not
an official meeting.
Well, we're not making decisions or discussing.
Right, I'm down business.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, just because you happen to be in the same room together does not make.
Right.
So, I mean, it's good to be cognizant, it's good to be sensitive to what
Yeah, I guess.
people don't have to be.
So we do the opinions on a lot of these.
Well, guess what? It's 7:30. Are you good, Bridget?
Oh, okay.
All right. Well then, we're good then. Then I would say that we are going to bring the Thursday, March 7th Webster Town Board meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can everybody hear me in the back?
Yes.
Give me a high ho if you can hear me. All right. So all the board members and everybody, make sure you kind of cue your microphones down near your mouth when you're talking. That'll help for the in-person attendance tonight. And Bridget, I would assume that would also help for people watching remotely at home and live or in the tape versions in days and weeks to come. With that being said, Dolly, can you do roll call, please?
Supervisor Flaherty.
Here.
Councilman Cahill.
Here.
Councilwoman Wynn. Here. Councilwoman Wright.
Here.
Town Attorney Genesi.
Present.
Okay, our first order of business tonight, we actually have two public hearings tonight. The first public hearing is to consider enacting a local law to revise the Webster Town Code, Chapter 146, drainage control to include commercial properties. We were just saying before the meeting started, Councilwoman Wright, 2.5 months in, I like the fact that you're like, hey, I got a lot to learn. I'm 4.5 years in, I still got a lot to learn, and I'm about to prove it. Charlie,
Yes.
do I put the mallet down and start the public hearing when we have nobody that signed up to talk at the public?
Sure, yes, you do.
I just learned, thank you. Well, I got another attorney over here too. And it looks great in that suit. Okay, well then we're going to open the public hearing. And we had a sign-up sheet out front for anybody who wanted to speak at it. And Dolly, thank you for manning the table right up until 7:30. And we don't have anybody that signed in. Now, is there anybody that is in attendance that maybe changed their mind on that? Dolly, to the best of my knowledge, we didn't have anybody send in writing, emails, letters, any input on this also. Is that correct? Okay. All right, Charlie and Deputy Attorney for the night, John, does that mean that I put the mallet down and we are done with the public hearing and then we just...
I believe so.
Yes.
I learned something new today. Okay. Well, that concludes the public hearing. Now, before we move on to the next public hearing, well, first of all, Pat Stevens, our highway superintendent, is here in the house tonight, and I would imagine probably the main reason you're here is that this is under your purview, this drainage issue.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Now, maybe the reason why there has not been anything in writing coming to the town board on opinions for or against this adding of commercial properties, and why nobody is speaking tonight is twofold in my opinion. One is that I think there's been several town board workshops and information that is kind of explained to the board and explained to the community how this is just kind of putting a ribbon around something that started 60 years ago when the town board back in the 50s or 60s started the drainage district with residential homes that were being built as of that date, and they grandfathered in anything that had been built in the town prior to that. And a couple years ago, we added the remaining 4,000 homes to go along with the 11,000 homes, properties that were already in the drainage district. And I think everybody understood that, you know, after 60 years, it made sense. It didn't make any sense that 4,000 homes weren't being charged for drainage, which is really a town-wide thing, when 11,000 were. So that got adopted, and then it just went to say that a lot of the impervious area that has the water runoff, that creates the challenges of our drainage, whether you like it or not, is the commercial properties. There are a lot of times the ones that build the driveways or parking lots, and instead of grass where the water can soak down in the way it was meant to, it's got to run off someplace. Is that a best way to explain it, Pat?
Yeah, that's how all the drainage ways work, but the fees aren't necessarily tied directly to that. The fee is tied to that, but it's really for townwide drainage, common drainage ways, the creeks and large conveyances that go to the stream. That's where the work's actually being done. We had about maybe 20 questions total out of about the 356 letters that went out specifically on this. That's mostly what it was about. Why my property doesn't do this, do that. It really is to maintain the general conveyances throughout the town, not specifically to maintain something that's physically on these properties. But the way we quantify the fee is based on exactly what you just said, how much impervious surface, parking lots, roofs, the commercial properties have determines their contribution of the fee.
Right.
The common drainage.
And Pat said a mouthful when he said that there were 350, 360 very individualized letters sent out to commercial property owners that had a second page, a picture from the sky of their property that outlined their impervious area. It said how many acres it is or how many square feet, how it would calculate into what we think their charge would be in 2025 if this gets adopted. As Pat said, it was a month or so ago, people called in. We were hoping for that, and your staff, and I think the assessment department staff was able to answer their questions. And like I said, I think that is why there's nobody here to really comment on this.
And the highway department, in my opinion, is to be commended for sending out those individual letters, because when something is going to impact not only the residents, but also the commercial business owners, it's very good as a town to communicate that directly. And I know that, you know, we communicated, maybe over-communicated with respect to the changes to our sewage treatment plant, the highway garage. We've over-communicated, and it's very, very important to communicate and then go further to over-communicate when you know, the town or village is about to see something impact the taxpayers. And I know there's
Yeah.
little, okay, I'll leave it alone.
All right.
You know where I was going,
You
right?
do, yeah, I did. I said, wow, it's a great suit. And you do want to get home for the presidential,
Yes.
State of the Union.
Okay, so,
Yeah, so moving along.
without,
We listen.
we had the public hearing tonight. We didn't have on the agenda to do the resolution. We okay, I mean, we talked to assessment this and that. If we do the resolution at the next board meeting on the 21st, and have it, we're good?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Then that's really, that's that. for the drainage.
Can I make one comment, Mr.
Please,
Supervisor?
please do.
One of the sections, or actually the definition portion of the proposed law refers to an MS4 official. I think it would be a good idea to, at the time the resolution is enacted, if it's enacted, to advise the public who the official is, or what the position is of the official.
Excellent point. Okay. I think, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, you're somewhat pinch hitting right now as our MS4 official.
Correct, so that, yeah, I've already, like, we can figure out some language for that. It's probably gonna read appropriate department head.
Yes.
It's always somebody at that high level of the town. It was the highway superintendent at one point, but then most recently, before I took it back over, it was the town engineer. That was that official. Now I have it back right now, as we're still searching for the town engineer. So we'll have to figure out how to put the language in there, but it's always somebody at that high level of town that has the knowledge base to make those decisions. I do have that, but I'm not sure if we'll go back to the town engineer. Let's
I don't have a problem so much with the language. I think it's the town employee designated by the town board. I just think it should be clear
Yeah, because we have to have a resolution.
from whenever it's enacted, who the town official is, that's all.
Yep.
And then if it changes, it takes board resolution to set that,
Right.
so you can change by board resolution also, which would work.
So Councilwoman Wright, because I learned something new today, that even though no one has signed up for a public hearing, I'm going to now, our next agenda item is a second public hearing, this one to consider a local law to change sections 257-165 and 257-166 of the Webster Town Code, and these really tie, no pun intended, to the one-time tie-in fee that a residence or commercial property, industrial property pays to go into our sanitary sewer collection system and treatment system. We do not have anybody signed up to speak, but Charlie and his associate, Councilman Cahill, said we are going to drop them out now. So,
Yes, sir.
I'm deja vu. Is there anybody that's in attendance tonight that would like to take the podium on this? Ali, deja vu. I don't recall getting any emails or written things that were supposed to be read into the record on this. Okay. I did have some back and forth emails. In fact, Mr. Woolrab's here tonight. We had some fun last weekend trying to just reconcile how it's going to work. But there was no way, Dave, that I thought that that was, I don't know how you'd read that into a record. It was more of a conversation. So, I would say we're going to close out the public hearing. And once again, I went and asked our patron, Hostage Engineering, who's doing the conveyance project. I'd rather not queue up the resolution on this until the 21st, very similar to what we just talked about with Pat with the drainage district. Because we didn't have it on the agenda tonight, so, and there was no time constraint issues that were seen on that. I don't know if there's really much else to say in this, but because people will, and Bridget, you've said if there's 150 people watching this live, over the next week, there'll be 5 times as many views taped. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say, just for layman terms' sakes, our code, and we said this in workshops and different board meetings about this, 60 plus years ago when the writers of the code really had a very simple one-time tie-in fee verbiage in the code, Charlie. I mean, I was shocked how simple, but it's worked. I mean, it really has held the test of time for 60 plus years. And there's no way that those writers could have ever envisioned that a large industrial user would come in that was going to put this much flow, per se, into our sanitary system. And to really, yes, the thing that has basically been the instigator of this is Code Fairlight. And when we looked at what they're going to put into our system with the engineers and all that, and it ends up being about 12,000 EDUs a year, if we charged them our standard one-time tie-in fee, we would get $12 million. Problem is is that the specific Coke Fairlife infrastructure is needed for the town infrastructure, not infrastructure on Coke's 100-acre site, but off-site, town's infrastructure, conveyance pipes, the upsizing of the plant on Phillips Road. It's gonna be $24 million. So we knew early on that, well, that's a problem. We can't just charge them $12 million on our code as it reads right now and go out and invest town taxpayer money in $24 million. So this code change gives us the mechanism, Charlie, really, to now have a contract, have an industrial use agreement that it can identify specific infrastructure capital that the town has to invest, that they wouldn't have had to invest if this industrial user, commercial user didn't come along. The thing I like about it, I think, is that the future, if somebody comes in and has 3,000 EDUs, which is a big user, all right? That's $3 million, one-time fee, right, Paul? Based on our current fee schedule at $1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say that as we work with a user like that, they have a specific infrastructure thing that we have to do with the town sewer plant or a conveyance pipe that's our pipe, and it costs $2 million. We're going to get $3 million, right? It's when the infrastructure cost is going to be greater than what that fee is, that this code will help future boards and future finance directors and future town attorneys be armed with the needed documentation, if you want to say it, code, to sit down with a user like that. And that's what I think I'm most happy about. This is not just for Coke. Because Coke, if it's successful, and I think if you've been paying attention the last couple of years, the Xerox campus, there's momentum over there. Tessie buying 110 acres and 1.5 million square feet. The Xerox brass have been much more attentive and much more engaged in meetings with us. And then when Coke Fairlife came along less than a year ago, it was May of last year, and made the announcement they're coming here, which is really adjacent to the Coke, or to the Xerox campus. The Xerox brass's engagement went up even more. So it's not out of the realm of imagination over the next 5+ years that some of these 50, 70, 80 acre parcels over on the Xerox campus that, as we all know, and I don't want to rub salt in the wound, have really gone into being vacant and not used. Just doesn't help anybody. That's not helping us. That's not helping our tax base when you have 4 million square feet of empty space.
Even more so after last week.
Yes.
Well, I didn't want to rub salt in the wound, Jennifer, but I mean, you being somebody who has a lot of, you probably have the most tie to Xerox from your professional career, having been there for
32 years.
32 years, okay. So anyway, I just want to make sure that people are, you know, this, to me, this code change is not a one-trick pony for Coke. This gives the board, it gives some vision to what might happen at some of these 80-acre sites that are on the Xerox campus. And the accountant in me says, the economies of scale, when you are doing the sanitary sewer, the more EDUs you have to split the cost of maintaining that sewer, that's beneficial to the 15,000 homeowners, because that will bring their annual charges down. Paul, is that's not voodoo economics?
No, that's correct, Tom.
Yeah, so,
It's division.
it is simple math.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, anyway, anything else that the board or anybody would like to say? Because we're not going to vote on this tonight, but
No,
You covered it.
thanks.
again, thank you.
All right, next up, we do have a speaker on this one. Next up is my favorite part of the meeting, the open to the floor. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes. And Dolly, we had Mr. Dave Malecki signed in tonight. So Dave, would you like to take the podium.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Dave Malek, West Webster. Been here before, talking about the same subject. I want to be able to ride my bike across the outlet bridge, any time of the year I want. And right now, 7 months of the year I can't ride up there because the bridge turns. And I think there's a lot of things we can do to fix that, improve it. First thing is maybe try to change the schedule. I think having it open for boat traffic only 3 months of the year would be much more appropriate than having it like that for 7. Second thing is maybe consider putting in a pedestrian/bicyclist only bridge, one that accommodates wheelchairs also. The only real question in my mind is how high would it need to be. I'm thinking somewhere between the height of the bridges on the canal and the height of the Bay Bridge. For me, the height of the bridge on the canal makes sense, but obviously people that have boats that don't fit under there might see things differently. And then the third option is to consider putting a proper bridge instead of the existing center bridge, or retaining bridge in the back. So, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, and next up, there are 3 meetings minutes to be considered, 2 workshops. We did go over the workshop of February 8th, and I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wood?
Aye.
I was playing hooky on the 15th, so I can't take any motions on that. Those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the town board meeting of February 15th, 2024.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Abstain. And I would make a motion that we approve the February 22nd, 2024 workshop.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Well, now, it's the Paul Adams show for the first 6. Is that correct, Paul?
Several resolutions, Tom.
Jenny, was it you on the board?
Yes.
Okay.
I have looked over the bills and they appear to be on order, and I would like to make a motion to pay the bills, please.
Second.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. And I reviewed the prepaid warrants submitted by Paul Adams, our Director of Finance, and I make a motion we approve those.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
And I would make a motion we approve the purchase orders as submitted by Paul Adams, the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
So, Paul, first of all, the next 3 are kind of cleaning up 23 budget, which here we are about 2.5 months ago.
Correct.
2 of them, and then the
Yeah.
24. I just, if you wouldn't mind explaining all 3 of these, but I wanted to preface by that we have started what we call the big 6 departments
Yep.
in town. We've been doing the budget of 2023 to their actual results, and I think we've done 2 out of those 6 meetings
Yeah, we have the
Third
third one tomorrow.
tomorrow. So far, so good.
Yeah, it was a good year for the town. We're positioned well to go into 2025. These budget transfers are merely the final cleanup for 23 before the auditors step in. There are some amendments. The biggest amendments probably to cover some of the CHIPS revenue shortfalls in the budget on the highway side, and that was by choice. They chose to use their monies in different ways, and we made up for that with some expenditures that came in under budget and some revenues that went over budget. So in total, things came out pretty well.
And I know that all of these, the next three resolutions, the supporting paperwork, entries, whatever you want to call it, were sent out to the board a couple of days ago. Does anybody have any questions on any of those?
No.
Yeah, we get spoiled. Paul, you do a great job, and I know that John, Paul's been helping with that committee with the ambulance, the EMS, and those committee members are constantly telling us, you guys are pretty lucky in us. You got a guy, pretty good finance director.
Yeah, especially we looked at some numbers that didn't agree with one of the subcontracts that was very telling. So thank you very much, Paul, for discovering that, doing the analysis on it.
So, without further ado, I make a motion to approve the 2023 budget transfers as presented by Paul Adams, Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
And I make a motion to approve the 2023 budget amendments as presented by Paul Adams, Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
And then last but not least, I make a motion to approve the 2024 budget transfer as submitted by Paul Adams, Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn? Aye. Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Charlie, this is an interesting one, number 7, because we've been very fortunate the last few years to have, I'll say, Judge DeMarco. Can he still be called Judge? Even?
Sure.
Right? And I know he's helped you a lot on different legal things, and I'm especially glad to have a second set of eyes, and I know he's... Well, John also has earned the right in life that he, in the older months, doesn't seem to be around Rochester that often, huh? So, unfortunately, the way his schedule worked out, he wasn't able to get in to sign the oath book when he was appointed back at our board meeting on January 4th to, I think, his second term, or third term as deputy town attorney.
I think you're right, it's the third,
To the best of my knowledge, this is something we haven't experienced before. We called the Association of Towns, said, what do we do? John was very, embarrassed, for lack of better terms. He said, I'll fly in, slow down, we'll figure out. Long story short, I think the AOT Association of Towns said, just do another resolution, and then he has to get in. He's got to get in within 30 days. He knows this is happening tonight. He pinky swear, double Scout's honor, that he will get in. Any questions on that?
No.
Nope.
Okay. I hope he's watching this. Well, I make a motion to appoint John DeMarco as Deputy Town Attorney to serve at the pleasure of the Town Board as attorney to represent the town and shall be a person to whom the town officials may consult during his official duty for a term of 2 years ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
And not to belabor this, but Charlie, we had an hour-and-a-half team Zoom meeting today, and Mr. DeMarco, Judge DeMarco, was very prevalent in that meeting.
And he's here. Yes, he is now, pretty much.
Yes, yes. So, I bet it'll be in tomorrow. We lean on John a lot, so.
So the next resolution
Yes.
is for
Thank you, Jennifer.
the assessing department, for the assessment review board. And they're looking to fill some vacancies. And I would like to make a motion to appoint Hugh K. Lee as a member of the Assessment Review Board for a term ending September 30th, 2028.
Second.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. Okay, Jennifer, I'm glad you picked up on that. You're the liaison, you make the motion. I guess I'm the liaison to DPW, so I'll make this quick. I make a motion to approve the following items for recycling from the DPW department: a desk credenza, asset tag 03365, a wood conference table, asset tag 03808, a desk, asset tag 02685, a desk, asset tag 03336, a desk, asset tag 09244, a filing cabinet, asset tag 02782, and a filing cabinet, asset tag 02762.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to approve the following item for recycling from the town clerk department: wood book, case for doors, asset tag, #03079.
Second.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. And that concludes the formal agenda tonight. We will do our round table, and Pat, do you mind if we start with you?
Sure, no problem. Obviously not dealing with too much snow right now, which is kind of strange for this time of year, but we're making the best of it. We're trying to get going on some of our spring stuff, even some cleanup. We're in the middle of, we are taking pre-orders for leaf mulch, leaf compost that's ready to go this year. Our supply is a little bit higher this year. We are under full construction with the building, but we were able to keep more supply around. We had a little bit more space so that we still will have the location at Orchard Street where the residents can pick up on their own. And for a delivery fee, we're offering deliveries. We're taking those orders now, even though we won't start to deliver until April when things are a little bit drier. We don't have to worry about as much with people's driveways and yards and things of that nature. So we've already had quite a few people take us up on that, which is exciting. So we're glad to get that program going again. And then obviously the building is very, very exciting. We've got structural steel going up a little bit more every day. They actually started block inside, interior plumbing, things of that nature. So we're still on track to, by this time next year, have a new place to move into, which is extremely exciting.
So
So
I was just gonna ask you, we're not taking that next, last time I was over there, they were putting up a structural steel.
yeah, they're going really fast. Our contractors are doing a great job. Our construction manager, everything's on point right now, moving along, and we're starting to hit some really cool milestones. So yeah, we're on track to maybe have a little Christmas lunch in there next year, which is really great.
And anybody that's here for the meeting or watching live or on tape has learned tonight that the highway department does a lot more than just highways, drainage, as we talked about. All the things you just said as far as the mulch. And I think next week your staff is over at 600 Ridge Road with the building department and the code inspectors, because it's very possible the highway staff might be doing some of the demolition.
Yeah, we're able to get around to a few other departments. We just did a little bit of work with Parks and Rec in conjunction with the Friends of Webster Trails to get a little bit of a parking situation for them in a couple of parks. So yeah, we were able to get around to a few different areas of town, which is great.
It's cool. Paul?
Yes, Tom. A couple of weeks ago, I finished the town's internal financial statement, and we do have an annual audit. The audit field work will actually be next week, so the dreaded auditors will be in to true up the numbers. Personally, I don't think they're too far off, so it was a good year, as I said. And as we mentioned previously, we are in the middle of our year-end meetings with some of the bigger departments, just comparing financial results for each one.
Okay, at the risk of being a dorky accountant, I gotta ask this to Paul. And I think the board saw it. I think Paul sent out a memo that 5 years ago, the government did a gas fee, an accounting thing that said you gotta start putting what your liability is for long-term pension and all that. And I think the first year was 2019.
Yeah, GASB 75.
We were like $40 million.
It was as high as 51 million. And this year is, for the last 2 years, it's been quite a bit lower. I think it was 33.
Yeah.
We made a change to the retirees' health insurance plan. It was actually a richer plan, but the premium was like 50%.
Yes.
There's something through FLIMHIT, our consortium that we
Yeah.
use. And that took our long-term liability way down.
And, you know, and I've said before, I think you could make the argument that the town board, when you elect us, our main job could be the stewardship of the tax dollars of the town taxpayers. And it's funny, when Paul and I were on that consortium for the health insurance, when we first saw them say that the over 65 retirees, that they could get a better coverage in the Medicare, or whatever it is, but for the premium that much less, we were incredulous. We said, well, that can't be, that can't be. And we did the research and whatever, and it's true, and we got into it, and what it essentially did is brought our long-term liability down $10 million.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but those are the things that I think, you know, go on behind the scenes that I think is important for the citizens to know. The budget and working on tax, saving people money on tax, it's a full year, it's every day of the year. And it's amazing, but it's working.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Jennifer?
I attended the ProSAR meeting earlier this week. This week has gone by so fast. Seems like a long time ago. And I just want to share a couple of updates from Parks and Recreation and encourage the residents of Webster to check out our recreation center and the gym there. The gym is $28 a month for an individual and $35 for a premium membership. They have all brand new equipment, all new cardio equipment. So a bunch of classes, so there's something for everybody. And you will also see in the upcoming Webster Today and on the website and probably in the Webster Herald and other places, there's some great events coming up. There's one in April with partnering with the library for the solar eclipse. Family Day at Miracle Field in May. And then the summer celebration is for June 9th or 10th, right at the rec center. So I encourage people to come down and participate, get in shape, and enjoy the fun.
We do have a lot of activities at our rec center. And it has expanded quite a bit in the last few years. We're doing a great job down there.
And they have a ton of equipment, and there's more room for more people to take advantage of it.
More room for activities.
Well, Charlie and I were there for
That's
joint
right.
activities.
I'll let you take, I'll let you
Nah,
speak to that.
that was really cool.
Yeah, it
You
was.
know, I mean, and the gentleman's name is Frank Amron. You know him. 100-year-old, his 100th birthday was March 1st. This guy is playing euchre over there. He doesn't use a walker, this and that. We gave him, accreditation. The county came in. He's a World War II veteran.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
He drove himself there.
Drove himself there.
Drives to and from the rec center.
Nice.
That guy,
It's fantastic.
I
Yeah,
thought,
it's-
that guy, it's like, he looks like he's about 80.
Yeah, absolutely, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
That's why you need to go to the gym.
Yeah, right?
Stay in shape.
There you go.
You
That's
exercise,
right.
then
Yeah,
you
you know.
can be driving around when you're hungry.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Anyway, I wanted to say, one great thing that happened this past week is that we took ownership, well, I think it's a great thing anyway, but we took ownership of 600 Bridge Road. Finally, after all these years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's time to make the magic happen.
Game on.
Yeah, that's why I say,
Yeah.
I won't say it's a mixed blessing, but it's, at least we have control.
Yep.
So Pat,
It's just something, we gotta sit there and check our hands.
Sure, yeah.
And listen to people understandably complain, why doesn't the town do anything, when there were, gosh knows, there were a lot of
I
reasons.
know why the
it's
town
not
didn't do
doing
anything. If I would have known the hurdles we had, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would have ventured into that 3.5, 4 years ago.
Glad you did.
I am
A lot of
now
people are
too,
glad.
but it was naivete. I thought, oh, this will be a quick thing to clean up. Oh my God, there's 9 different government agencies that grew out, terrible. But we did it. Yeah.
We're demolishing that property, or did I misunderstand?
No, there's a portion of the property that's in such disrepair. I think it's an outbuilding, a
Yes.
garage, something off it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
almost fully collapsed. So it's almost more of a cleanup of a fully
Okay,
dilapidated.
so the last time I was in there, there was a portion of the foundation and the walking, the front door on the right side, back, the wall was in very, very poor shape.
Yeah,
So-
it's my understanding it's a small section of it.
Yeah.
That's the addition, there's the old building, I don't know how old the building is, and then there's an addition, like a porch or whatever it was in the back.
That was,
That's what you're talking about.
that's what I'm talking about,
And
yeah.
of
The
course,
garage wasn't bad.
The garage should be taken down.
No.
It's terrible.
Okay,
And this thing probably, I'll leave it up to better minds than
Yeah.
mine, but yeah, I think
no, it definitely needs to go
the
down.
porch area should
That
probably
section,
be torn
yes.
down.
And when I said demolish, I didn't mean the whole building at this point, that remains to be seen, but like Pat said, the garage definitely, whether the old porch off the southern back of it, you'll have to figure out, it'd be nice if that could go down, you just don't know if that's gonna affect the wall of the main structure, I guess.
Yeah, we have a meeting set to kind of take a look next week. I know that Josh and everybody's goal is to just sort of stabilize the property, make sure,
Yeah.
things are as
Right.
clean and tidy as possible around there. And some of the stuff that's really dilapidated, we would probably help facilitate getting it out of there so it's a little more tidy.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're, the garage, one of the main reasons we want the garage out of there is back in January last year, we couldn't continue on with environmental testing to get the drill down far enough in the garage, into the bedrock, to get into the water source. You gotta triangulate water on the site, I guess, to figure out, well, is the contaminant generated on the site and going out, or is the contaminant coming onto the site from an off-site place? There was petroleum in the 20 feet down water source. What the Webster furniture strippers didn't use petroleum. There's a 99% chance that the petroleum is coming in from off-site, from a gas tank or an oil tank that's off-site. But until we can drill down far enough to get that third well to do the triangulation, and they said at that time the only way we could do it is basically take the roof off the garage, and we're like, well, wait a minute, we don't own this property, we're not taking the roof off the garage. Once we get the garage out of there, we will get probably the engineering firm back over there to finish the environmental testing. So, TMI, I apologize, but, yeah, we own it, and now
What's
the work,
going on
now the
there?
work begins.
That's good
Is that
for
true?
folks to know.
So, anything else, Jerry?
No?
Okay. Jenny?
Okay, like always, please come out and support your own community. The libraries always have, wonderful things and activities for children and adults alike, and it's welcome to everyone. And also to please check out the Webster Museum too as well. They have a lot of unique, inventories there, and take your children, come in and explore. And another thing, tomorrow is the International Women's Day, and I'm proud to be part of that. And I'm hoping to inspire others to follow their dreams. I love my country, America, and I'm so privileged to be served as the first Asian American, Asian-born American town councilwoman here in Webster, where life worth living.
Thanks. Jonathan?
Congratulations. Good.
And last but certainly not least, Dolly.
I just want to mention that the town and county tax installment payment number 3 is due by March 31st. However, because that date falls on a Sunday, taxpayers will have until April 1st.
I hope everybody gets home, gets a chance to get into comfortable clothes, sit down and watch the State of the Union address. This meeting is officially adjourned.
Yeah, that's right.
Huh?
That's right.
so, you shouldn't say that. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I think you should put that. I mean, it's nice.
How's it going, Dave?
I know, no, that's good, but I think in terms of